From the very first moment the news broke, the world could feel the shift, an emotional, powerful turning point in the life of Jon Gosselin, one that even his children could not ignore. And now, standing in the heart of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, surrounded by soft music, warm lights, and raw emotion, Collin Gosselin finally opens up about witnessing his father marry the woman who brought new light into his world, Stephanie Lebo. What unfolded at this intimate wedding was more than just vows and rings. It was a deeply personal moment, years in the making, shaped by trials, heartbreak, resilience, and newfound hope. And for Collin, being here wasn't just attendance, it was healing. Collin says that when his father first told him he was getting married, the reaction wasn't shock or confusion. Instead, it was a wave of pure happiness. He explains that his very first thought was that his dad simply deserved this. After everything Jon has endured, public battles, family tensions, and the scars left from a life spent under the microscope of reality TV through Jon Kate plus 8. This wasn't just another life event. It was a reminder that love can find you again, even when the world thinks it's forgotten you. Collin describes it with a clarity and sincerity that makes the entire moment feel even more profound. He deserves this, just like anyone who finds their person. But because of everything he's been through, it just meant more. It hit harder. As the wedding day finally arrived, Collin recalls waking up and being hit by the realization that this wasn't a rehearsal, wasn't a dream, and wasn't just some date on the calendar anymore. It was happening. The day had come quickly, almost rushing in with its own emotional force. But instead of anxiety, Collin felt something else coursing through him: pride, relief, and a strange sense of freedom. He describes it as feeling liberating, even though he wasn't the one saying, "I do." It was as if all the heaviness his father had carried for years suddenly loosened. When the ceremony began, the emotions only grew stronger. Collin admits something he rarely admits. He cried, not the silent tear that slips down unnoticed. No, he cried openly, uncontrollably, as he watched Jon Gosselin and Stephanie Lebo stand at the altar. He wasn't alone, either. He remembers seeing faces blurred through his own tears, everyone around him overtaken by the moment. But what truly broke him was hearing his father's vows. As Jon spoke, Collin says he lost all composure. Hearing his father promise unconditional love, support in exhaustion, laughter in joy, and comfort in sorrow, it was overwhelming. It wasn't just a father marrying the love of his life. It was a man who had survived so much finally arriving at a place where he could speak from a healed heart. To Collin, the love between Jon and Stephanie is special because it isn't performative. Nothing about their relationship feels rehearsed or polished for the cameras or the public. They don't need rules or scripts or expectations. Their bond feels natural, unforced, and deeply human. He explains that they complement each other by simply being themselves. They laugh, they enjoy life, and they make space for each other in a way that feels organic rather than structured. After everything Jon has endured, from marriage struggles in the public eye to the complicated dynamics surrounding his 8 children, finding a love that doesn't require explanation feels like a gift. But the moment that truly stays with Collin isn't just the vows or the kiss or the applause. It's looking around the room and seeing the people who showed up, people who stayed, people who remained, people who carried him through some of his darkest years. For Collin, the significance of those faces was profound. This wasn't a traditional wedding, it was heavier, weighted with years of turmoil, healing, and transformation. He says he felt that weight as he stood there, thinking of all the trials and tribulations his father has faced. And in that moment, he saw something else. All of those hardships floating away, dissolving in the light of this new beginning. That feeling, he says, is something he will never forget. This wasn't simply about a man remarrying. It was the symbolic end of one painful chapter and the start of a quieter, softer, kinder one. Collin describes the experience as watching his father be freed from the shadows of old wounds, freed from the narratives written by other people, freed to love again, openly and without fear. And that freedom moved him to tears. Tears that weren't about sadness, but about gratitude. Seeing his sister Hannah Gosselin at the wedding made the day even more powerful. The siblings have been through their own complexities, their own disagreements, their own pain. But on this day, they stood together, united by one truth: they loved their father. No matter what differences they may still navigate, being here together showed that they both understand how much this moment means to him. How much he needed a day that wasn't defined by conflict, headlines, or memories of the past. However, Collin doesn't hide the fact that he wished all 8 siblings could have been there. He speaks gently about it without bitterness or accusation, only love. He says that he and Hannah would have loved to see the rest of their brothers and sisters join in the celebration. He hopes they know that they were missed. He hopes they know how important the day was. And he hopes that someday they'll understand the significance of this new chapter in their father's life. Because in Collin's eyes, everyone deserves to find their person, to find love, to rewrite their story with someone who truly understands their heart. As the ceremony continued, Collin found himself thinking deeply about the symbolism of weddings. The past is gone, the future begins now, and no matter where life takes them, this moment will always stand as a reminder that love can heal what once felt broken. He says that is the beautiful thing about a wedding. It represents leaving behind everything that once hurt, and stepping forward into something hopeful, something brighter, something that feels earned. For Jon Gosselin, this day wasn't just a wedding. It was redemption, renewal, a moment of peace after years of turbulence. And for Collin, watching it unfold wasn't just emotional, it was life-changing. He saw a version of his father he had always hoped to see someday, joyful, loved, supported, and finally free. As the night continued in Lancaster, with laughter echoing across the venue and heartfelt toasts filling the air, Collin felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: stability, belonging, unity. He felt proud, not only of his father, but of himself for standing here, witnessing it all with an open heart. And as he watched Jon and Stephanie dance, surrounded by people who genuinely loved them, Collin realized that this wasn't just a page turning. It was an entire book closing and another one opening. A story that had been rewritten with hope at its center. A story that would carry the Gosselin family into a future filled with possibilities, healing, and new beginnings. For Collin, this wedding wasn't just memorable, it was monumental. A moment that will stay with him forever. A moment where past pain dissolved, present love glowed, and future hope finally felt real.